the most recent piece, the one you just posted, I believe, today? Was
Today, it went up just this morning.
Okay, and it goes up this morning, and usually you would do a deep dive and talking to, again, scouts and coordinators and coaches about the quarterback, certainly in a class like this, but you wound up talking about the receivers more than not. What was this journey like here?
Yeah, I thought I was going to lead the whole piece with all the stuff I got on quarterbacks, and that's in there. But the thing that kind of was I went into the draft process thinking, okay, the closest thing to a sure thing, and there are no sure things, as you know, in the draft, I think is Marvin Harrison Jr. He's really well polished. He's a big receiver. He came from a really good system that it keeps cranking out elite receivers, and he's the most complete of all of them. There's nothing not to love about him. And then you come through the combine, and all of a sudden you start hearing a lot of stuff about Rome Odunze and his competitiveness, and he's physically strong, and he tracks the ball as well as anybody. Mm-hmm. And he made a ton of big plays, contested catches, everything. And there's a lot to add into the list. And so when I would start, the first person I talked to on this front was an NFL receivers coach. And I said, is Marvin number one on your board? And he said, no, Nabers is. And I said, really? He goes, yeah. And I think there's a bunch of other people who have Nabers number one. And I said, and he goes, no knock on Marvin. Nabers is different though, just in terms of his explosiveness, how he is with the ball in his hands. There is an edge to him that a lot of people really like. And you start hearing about, like, nobody wants to compare speed with like Tyreek Hill, but there's like an explosiveness that evokes some memories of Tyreek Hill, except this guy's bigger. He's, legit 6 feet, 200 pounds and strong. And so it was interesting to hear the Nabers talk. Not that I didn't think he was a great talent. To me, I think there's three receivers who are so much better than what we had in last year's draft. Not a knock on Jackson Smith and Jigba. He went 20th. But there are three guys, and maybe even Brian Thomas Jr., the other receiver from LSU, who I think will probably go higher than 20th, but three who I feel like are going to be elite receivers, that there's really, people just want these guys in the room. Again, that's not a knock on Marvin, and it's not a knock on Rome. It's just that I think there's a lot of guys who want to coach Malik Nabers because of just what he can do with the ball in his hands.
Yeah, and then there's a ton of other. I mean, I'm looking at your mock draft here. You have Adonai Mitchell going to the Bills. I think a lot of people feel that way too. Like as soon as he drops there. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.